the two things that I attribute the success that we had in the run game to are, one, we finally ran Avery Johnson. And that was designed quarterback run game, and that was Avery, using his feet when plays weren't otherwise there. We've been asking for that all season. And so love to see us come out that first drive, I believe the first play of the game, first offensive play of the game, and run Avery Johnson in a designed QB run.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
Hello and welcome to another 3-Mile bonus edition. I'm your host, Cole Manbeck, joined as always by former Wildcat wide receiver and partner over at Wildcat NIL, Curry Sexton, as we are here to recap Kansas State's 41-15 victory over Cincinnati in Manhattan on Saturday, as the Wildcats improved to 8-3 on the season and 5-3 in Big 12 play and keep a glimmer of Big 12 championship hopes alive, though it remains a long shot. You heard us break it down on the post-game show, DY and I talking about it a little bit. We'll see what happens this weekend, but all we know is K-State can control its own, well, they don't control its own destiny, but the only thing they can do is just go beat Iowa State and see what unfolds everywhere else. The win on Saturday called for a toast from our friends, as always, at Ben Holiday or at Holiday Distillery. I always say Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon because that's my go-to, and forget to shout out the name brand of Holiday Distillery. Go get some Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon. It is my go-to bourbon. I've got several bottles in my basement, so go to your local liquor store, stock up with some Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon. The holidays are coming. If you're looking for a gift, a stocking stuffer for some friends, pick up some Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon or 360 vodka from our friends at Holiday Distillery. Great K-State folks over there who support us on 3-Mile and support Wildcat NIL as well, and have been on hand at a couple of different tailgates this season with them, and as well as us at 3-Mile. So tailgates were a lot of fun this season with Wildcat NIL over there. Made it to almost every one of them and had a heck of a good time. Curry, Pearson, Ryan, and the guys put on one heck of a good time over there. So if you didn't enjoy it or get an opportunity to go hang out this year, hopefully we'll run it back next year and do so. So go on over to catsnil.com, continue to support K-State. Curry, transfer portal season is coming here before we know it. Roster retention and all of that. NIL is going to be a big thing. Maybe I just kick it to you real quick to remind our folks and K-State fans who, want to retain the talent on this K-State team that you have, and also, when they're trying to go land some talent in the portal with that coming up in a couple of weeks, just the significance of NIL and what it plays there.
Yeah, I think it's not a secret at this stage that NIL is probably the single most important factor in recruiting and retaining guys these days. Sure, culture, fit, things like that absolutely matter. There's no doubt about that, and I feel like we have a good culture and we're a good fit for the right types of guys. But NIL is always going to have a presence in the recruitment of whether it's high school kids, JUCO kids, transfer portal kids, or your own guys. NIL is going to play a significant factor. And so I think, I know that there's a lot with some of the, struggles football has had in November, and some of the struggles that our basketball program is having right now. There's a lot of people who I think the right rationale is to stop supporting NIL. And in fact, I would say that's the wrong move. Sure, there are sometimes, I think there's rightful questions about execution in terms of NIL. But we have to continue to support our guys through NIL, our coaches, our players through NIL, because that is the single most important factor in building and maintaining a roster. And so I think we're in a good spot right now. I think our football team is going to be aggressive here over the next couple of weeks. We've got a good young roster, kind of highlighted by Avery Johnson at the quarterback position, as well as a number of other key guys at other positions that we're going to try to keep around, and we're going to go try to build around them through the portal and through other avenues as well. And so, I think if you're not already supporting our efforts through NIL, I would certainly encourage you to do so. You can go to catsnil.com and sign up for a fan membership, or reach out to us if you want to explore another way to get involved. Happy to chat anytime with you about that. But again, I don't think it can be understated just how important NIL is. And I think if Chris Kleinman was sitting here with us right now, he would echo that completely. So if you're not involved, get involved over at catsnil.com. We can use every bit of support. It makes a huge difference.
A lot of young pieces and veteran pieces on this K-State roster with eligibility remaining that the staff would love to keep in Manhattan, but a lot of other programs would love to try and poach as well. So do all you can to support K-State student athletes over at catsnil.com. I'm a member. You can get a hat like this as well. It's a slick hat. People always ask where I got it. I got it at Wildcat NIL by becoming a member. So go sign up, check out the membership tiers, and join there. We're going to do the all 22 film review as always and get to that in 5-10 minutes here. So be on the lookout for that. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to watch there, or you can just listen to the audio. Curry does a great job describing everything, so you don't necessarily need the YouTube to just hear and visualize his description of the plays that K-State ran. We're going to highlight 7 plays today. Before we get to that, Curry, the offense, Connor Riley moved to the sideline on Saturday. We got wind of that on Saturday morning that a shift was going to happen there. Now, my assumption when I heard that Connor Riley was moving to the sideline was that Matt Wells was going to move up to the box. Matt Wells also stayed on the sideline, which was very interesting to me. But Connor Riley down on the field, calling the plays. Chris Kleiman said he still called all of the plays, just did so from down on the field. The offensive line paves the way for 281 yards on the ground, second most rushing yards by K-State against an FBS opponent this season. The 7 yards per carry, also the second highest versus an FBS opponent this year. It feels like no coincidence that they had their best rushing performance in a long, long time with Connor Riley down on the field. But also there were some schematic changes, I think, that we saw. Like, what did you see in terms of differences from the offense, maybe especially in that first half of the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really attribute the success that we had on Saturday night to the fact that Connor Riley was down on the field. That may have helped his guys out. That may have brought more energy to that offensive line group. But I think the biggest, the 2 things that I attribute the success that we had in the run game to are, one, we finally ran Avery Johnson. And that was designed quarterback run game, and that was Avery, using his feet when plays weren't otherwise there. We've been asking for that all season, and so love to see us come out that first drive, I believe the first play of the game, first offensive play of the game, and run Avery Johnson in a designed QB run. And the other thing was we stopped relying almost exclusively on inside split zone. We stopped running that every first down of every series, or the first play of every series. And we started running the ball off tackle and started, providing a little bit more variation to the run game, which I think opened things up. But I think Avery running the football was the most important factor on Saturday night. I think that opened things up for everybody else. In turn, DJ Giddens had his best game in well over a month. And though we didn't throw the ball a ton and maybe didn't throw it overly effectively, we were able to have some success through the air. And so I think that the decision to run Avery Johnson is the decision that made a difference on Saturday night.
Did it aggravate you more, though, watching it work Saturday night? Because to me, I'm watching it and I'm like, where was this the last few weeks?
Yeah.
I kept thinking, it's hard not to dwell on the past a little bit and think about the opportunities. I mean, you and I were at the Wildcat NIL tailgate. We were watching KU dominate Colorado, and we're like, it was all right there on the table. And K-State instead comes out after a bye week and runs inside zone, very predictable, no creativity with the offense, looked flat, not ready to play. And then they come out on Saturday with not nearly as much on the line, and they're willing to cut Avery loose. To me, it frustrated me more.
Yeah, me too. It seemed like a little bit of a, too little, too late approach. And sure, I was glad to see it on Saturday night because it played a big factor in us, in us running away with a football game, in a game that we really desperately needed to win. But you're right. I think it does, it does make you look back to those Houston and Arizona State games and think, man, what if we had used the ace and, the ace in our back pocket and ran our quarterback who's got a skill set unlike pretty much any other quarterback in the country. And so, yeah, frustrating for sure. But also pleased with the ability of our coaching staff to recognize, hey, we're not calling these games to the skill set of our offensive unit, and we need to do so to have more success. And so I guess pleased in a little, in a way that we realized that, hey, we're not using this incredibly dynamic player that we have to the best of his abilities. So pleased, yes. Frustrated, absolutely.
And it felt like I mean, not only did they get Avery out on the perimeter early in the game, but it felt like most of K-State's successful runs, again, were largely out on the edge. I mean, you get inside a 17-yard touchdown run, just off tackle. A lot of the runs were getting out to the edge, which we had been, pushing for a while. Joe Jackson had like a 30-yard run and got called back due to a bad holding call on the edge as well. But felt like K-State really found success on the edges, and hopefully that is something that they continue to do because it feels like every time they go out to the perimeter that they've found more success. So,
yep. And the ring.
Yeah.
And the ring.
Look, we're going to make this our top storyline of the week, actually. Speaking of offensive side of the football, we're going to talk from our friends over at Elenco. Go over to elencohome.com, ALENCO home.com. But speaking of the offensive side of the football, Curry, look, you're a former Wildcat wide receiver, had a 1,000-yard season in your career as well. And a guy that's a little more unique that we've seen really start to flash and come on over the last couple of weeks is redshirt freshman Trey Spivey. Brings a different physicality that Kansas State's not used to having. 6'4" wide receiver. Again, he's only a redshirt freshman, a talented recruit that they brought in the prior year's class, and we've really started to see flashes. He had 5 catches for 63 yards on Saturday on the heels of 4 receptions for 56 against Arizona State. What do you make of what you're seeing in the development of Spivey and like his ceiling and where his career path could be headed, as a talented piece in this K-State offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think as Coach Kleiman has said, and I believe Avery Johnson has said, the sky is truly the limit for Trey. I mean, he's got a skill set that we haven't really seen, probably not in this century at K-State, in terms of just a big-bodied receiver who can run, who can go up and high point the football, who's willing to take contact after the catch, strong hands, plays really, really hard. I think that's probably my favorite thing about Trey Spivey is how hard he plays, because we've seen, in our receiver room the last few years, we've seen some effort problems from time to time. And so I think he's a guy that you can build, that you can build that receiver room around, that you can really build the offense around for years to come. He seems like he's a guy who has a contagious energy to him. He's again, he plays hard. He seems to be always smiling. He's just got a lot of fun energy to him, which is a real breath of fresh air. And so I think, we've heard a lot about Trey Spivey over the last 18 to 20 months, since he's been on campus. We've always known that the upside was there, but it was always pretty well documented that, hey, this guy's got incredible potential, but still learning to play football, still learning how to play receiver at this level, and understand how to get aligned properly, and understand, how to read a defense both pre-snap and post-snap, and how to, run an option. There's all those little intricacies of the receiver position that really aren't that easy, and that do take some time to master. It's taken Trey some time, and now you see that he's adjusting, he's adapted to some of those changes, and now he's playing free and loose, and he's making plays. And I think on Saturday night after the game, I think his post-game press conference, some of the statements that he made were really, really interesting to me. He said a couple of things. One, he said, I didn't feel like this was my best game. I have a lot of room to improve, which you love to hear from a guy who just had a career night. That's impressive. I think nowadays, some of this younger generation, they don't want to think about what can I do better. They want to dwell on what did I do well. So I think to hear him after a career night go in there and say, there's a lot of room for me to improve, that excites me. And then I think just to hear Trey talk about, just the way that this coaching staff has embraced him and it has been patient with him and coaching him along for the last, almost 2 years now, and getting him to this point and being thankful to them for that, I thought was really impressive as well. Just because I think, again, we're in the middle of a generation and in a time in college athletics where most people aren't willing to hold themselves accountable and aren't willing to say, I got to look in the mirror and figure out, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not playing? Why am I not having the success that I think I'm capable of having? And I think a lot of times the easy way out is to just leave and to give up and give up on a situation. And so I think for Trey to endure, I think a little bit of a rocky road for the last almost 2 years to get to where he is now and still be appreciative and thankful and still understand that there's so much room for growth, I think shows that he's a super mature kid with a bright future. And so, I think it's no secret. Coach Kleiman said it Saturday night. We're all very much looking forward to Trey coming back. We're very much looking forward to him being the focal point of that receiver room for years to come. It's super excited about what, the tandem that he and Avery Johnson provide for us for potentially the next one or two more years.
Really impressive in the post-game media sessions on Saturday, hearing from Trey Spivey. And look, it's no surprise. I mean, you and I both had met Junior before his father. He comes from an outstanding family, a championship culture, a professional culture.
Yeah, great there.
Yeah, that's one of the perks when you recruit somebody that, comes from a culture like that, and a guy like Junior Spivey, who played for the Arizona Diamondbacks, won a World Series ring while he was there, played a bunch of different positions. Just a great dude. We've had him on before on the show and on our Patreon feed. And so, yeah, tremendous talent. And it's no coincidence that we're going to be highlighting 3 different Trey Spivey plays in our all 22 film breakdown that's coming in just a few minutes as well. And, Trey, over the last couple of weeks, has converted on a 4th and 14, a 4th and 13, and a 3rd and 11. So coming up with some big plays when it matters most for this Kansas State offense. As always, got to shout out our friends over at Elenco, home improvement company, premier home improvement company that's based out of Kansas City, owned by tremendous K-Staters, and in an industry where many home improvement companies have been bought out by national corporations. Elenco has remained locally owned since they started in 1986. If you're thinking about getting new windows on your home or doing a bathroom remodel, Elenco specializes in premium window replacements as well as Kohler Luxdome shower systems. You need new siding on your home, new doors, anything you need, folks at Elenco have you covered with the best products and top quality service. You don't need to live in the KC area. They cover much of western Missouri, northeast Kansas, surrounding KC Metro. Live in Manhattan, Emporia, Topeka, Wichita, small towns all around. Elenco will come your way. Take care of your home improvement needs. Go to elencohome.com, ALENCO home.com. Check out all the services they offer, or you can give Sam, a great K-Stater, a call at 961 2165. He'll get you taken care of, answer any questions you have. Go support Elenco, a terrific local business, family owned and operated by terrific K-Staters. Well, we're going to get to the all 22 here in just one moment. We come back from break, but before we go to break, we got to remind you about the Black Friday sale going on right now over at homefieldapparel.com. You get 30% off your entire order at homefieldapparel.com with discount code BFCM24. Again, that is BFCM24. You usually get 15% off with the discount code 3MAW24. Right now, you can get 30% off. It's a big deal over at Home Field Apparel. They've got over 50 K-State items to choose from. I'm rocking a Home Field hoodie underneath this vest right now as well. Go get stocked up for the holidays, some gift-giving items, get some Home Field Apparel gear. Hats to choose from, tons of hoodies, jackets as well, retro, sleek designs. Go get on over to homefieldapparel.com. Again, 30% off with discount code BFCM24.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
All right, Curry. Well, I think we're ready to roll with the all 22. We got 7 plays to choose from. So, Nick, whenever you are ready behind the scenes, we'll go with the first play of the game right here. And this is a zone read. Avery bounces to the outside, 33-yard run right out of the gate. You see explosion. You see assertiveness from Avery Johnson on the ground. Curry, just what do you make of the first play here? I know we already talked about a little bit of the changes and schematics from the offense.
It's a great play call. You could tell that defense is loaded up to stop DJ Giddens because it seems like the first offensive snap of every football game we run some sort of run inside zone to DJ Giddens, and so you can see DJ takes the entire attention of that defense. So like motioning Garrett Oakley into the backfield. This is not a read play. This is a design QB run. Just based on the way that Avery pulls it so quickly. And just it's a great play design. I mean, you're using Garrett Oakley out there as your lead. Is that Garrett or is that? Yeah, I believe that's Garrett. Using Garrett Oakley as your lead blocker, you can see that you've got the defense leveraged properly from the jump. All 3 of those linebackers are sort of shaded to the field, and so you see that from the pre-snap, it's going to be a one-on-one situation where Garrett Oakley has to block that free safety. And if he does, then this play is off and running. And so just a great execution, great job by the right side of that offensive line, getting that defensive line caved down toward the line of scrimmage, and just great execution, great block by Garrett Oakley on the outside, the one key block on this play, and then it's a great job by Avery finishing this run. And I like to see him looking for more yardage. I think in the past we've seen him, when he gets to this, to this corner up at the top side of the field, we've seen in the past go down and give himself up. But I love to see him, find that extra yardage there, because he could have gone down. Let's see here. Avery could have easily gone down about the 50-yard line, and instead he gets to the Cincy 31-yard line. And so he picks up an extra 15, 20 yards just based on his willingness to find more yardage. So great execution, great play call. Great job by Avery Johnson finishing this run.
I mean, just look how hard they bit down on the inside. I mean, those linebackers crash down. The DN crashes way down in. The middle safety crashes down inside as well. They bit on it so hard, which is probably a tell that K-State was too predictable on offense previously and had run so much inside zone that they just assumed it was coming, and K-State makes them pay with the first play of the game. All right. Going to move on to the second play. This is actually a touchdown by Avery Johnson, 21-yard touchdown run here. Similar situation. I mean, Avery runs for it here on the ground. Now, a different formation, different look. They don't have the tight end in the backfield this time, just 5 down offensive lineman, DJ Giddens in the backfield. And this time, one of the differences is DJ, rather than, faking the zone read down inside, he's utilized as a lead blocker on this play. Now, he doesn't make a great block, but just enough to maybe get into the way here of the defender making the play. Since he's only got 5 guys in the box, you can see the linebacker crashes down inside again. That really opens things up, and Avery goes from there. Curry, dissect this one for us.
Yeah, so you've got, I like the design here. I like the use of personnel. I mean, you don't see us split out 4 wide that often, and so I like the trips bunch to the boundary, which is taking 4 guys away from the line of scrimmage, from the box there, and then you've got Dante Cephas split out wide to the field. This is they kind of fake zone they kind of fake inside zone here, and then turn this into a little bit of a QB power with DJ Giddens as your lead blocker. And so again, you can see that just based on the alignment, there are 4 guys covering R3 to the boundary, and then really 2 guys kind of shaded toward Dante Cephas at the top of the screen. You've got them right where you want them. We've got 6-on-5 or 6-on-6 in terms of blockers against their guys in that box, which is, hat on a hat. You feel good about your chances to go win every single time in a situation like this. And so it's a good job. It's a good job by our offensive line up front. You can see Easton Kilty pulls, but there's really not anything there for him to clean up. The other 4 guys do a great job of taking care of the rest. Carver Willis effectively wipes out 2 guys with his down block. And then it's just, getting Avery Johnson out in open space and letting him use his feet. And DJ Giddens gets just enough of that DB to spring Avery loose, and Avery does a great job finishing this run. So this is another great play design, and it's great execution all the way around. But again, it just goes to show just the dynamic that running Avery Johnson brings. As if you think about general, if you hand the ball to DJ there, then it's a 5-on-5 or 5-on-6 matchup inside that box, and then no longer do you have that advantage from an offensive perspective. But using DJ Giddens to block and using your quarterback to run almost always gives you a running advantage. When you're running your QB. And so I think it's excellent use of the personnel. And again, it's good recognition that, hey, we've got to use this ace in our pocket to create more opportunities for this offense. And so again, I like the play design. I love the execution.
Yeah, Taylor Portier held his block long enough on the linebacker. Sam Heck turns a nose tackle inside and well blocked. And like you said, Kilty didn't even have anyone to block because it was so well executed. And just like that, Avery just went straight up field, no dancing, and took the contact and went into the end zone. Okay, we will move on to the next play here. Let's see here. We'll let this roll here for a second. So this is the 3rd and 11, actually, conversion here to Trey Spivey. And they motion Trey into a trips look there. Trey's open, but he's still about 4 or 5 yards short of the first down, I think, when he catches this ball. Again, it's a 3rd and 11. He runs what looks to be just a curl and sits, and he's got outside leverage there, trucks the defender. I mean, this might be my favorite part of it, Curry. I think he already might have had the first down, but this shows you the physicality that Trey Spivey brings to the position as well. Not only is he big, but he's physical, trucks the corner, picks up an extra couple of yards before going out of bounds. What do you make of this play?
Yeah, this is just a great it's a great play. I mean, it's a great play all the way around by Trey Spivey. Just a great execution, great finish. So you're getting some sort of deep cover 3, cover 4 look. It's hard to say because safety of the boundary sort of squats. So really ends up looking a lot like cover 3, but this is a 3rd and long situation. So you're seeing very soft coverage. They dropped, I believe 8 guys into coverage at this point. And so that really, I mean, Avery makes the right read here. He knows, okay, 8 guys dropping, you're either throwing the ball to Dante Cephas or you're trying to feather one into Jace Brown over a couple different linebackers and underneath the safeties. And the same to Dante, you're trying to touch one in over that flat defender. So probably not the right read. So he makes the right read here. He goes to the guy that he knows is going to be open in the flat, running the little spot route, little 8-yard spot route. And this is just an excellent finish to this play by Trey Spivey. I think what I was super impressed with here was, when he catches this ball, watch him sort of look inside a little bit. He looks inside with that defender, puts his ball on his inside shoulder, makes that defense freeze for just a second, thinking that he's going to turn and get upfield inside. And that gives him watch that. Do you see that? You see that linebacker who's running out to go.
Yeah.
When Trey acts as though he's going to turn inside, that linebacker freezes where he's standing. I mean, he really almost falls on his rear. And that gives Trey just enough time to then turn outside and get upfield and get that first down. That's a really impressive, really mature play by a freshman receiver. A lot of times you see young guys catch that ball and they're in too much of a hurry to get upfield, and so they're not thinking about how am I going to leverage the defense after the catch. So this was excellent by Trey. Really good job faking the inside finish, the inside cut, and getting outside and getting past the sticks. And then like you said, you got to love the way that he finishes this run here. He's got the first down. He could have easily went out of bounds, but instead he decides to inflict punishment on that safety. You love seeing that from a wide receiver. That's the kind of stuff that gets a whole team energized, that gets that sideline juiced up. And this is a huge play in this situation. And so excellent job by both Avery and Trey Spivey in this case.
Yeah, I mean, because it's 3rd and 11 on the first drive of the game. I believe that's the series. And I mean, if they don't convert there, I mean, they're either going to try a really long field goal or they're going to have to punt. And the tenor of that game and the tone changes a little bit early on. So big conversion, and the next play was a touchdown, I believe. All right, we're going to go to the next play. I believe this is the second series of the game right here, Curry. And this was just I think it's a misfire probably by Avery. Jace Brown gets open going across the field here toward the end zone. He's got inside leverage on the corner. So if Avery lays that ball out more toward the east side of the football stadium, toward the Cincinnati sideline, I think it's probably a very easy touchdown. I think he just misses here on the throw. But what do you see here?
Yeah, so you're getting, so we got 12 personnel here. But you've got two tight ends in. Braden Lofton stays in to block, so you've got a little bit of a max protection here. So it's only a 3-receiver route against single man coverage. Actually, it appears as though it's actually cover 0. It is cover 0 here, and so you see that we've got great leverage here. Jace Brown against a safety, 1-on-1 safety playing outside leverage. Jace runs a corner post, and he runs an excellent route here. You're right. This is just a misfire by Avery. It's very similar to what we saw last week on that double post concept where we threw it to Jace and the play got broken up when Trey Spivey was open for a touchdown. But I did say that last week he could have thrown that ball to that far pylon, and just let Jace go run under it. Same thing here. Just throw that ball flat across the goal line and let your receiver go run and make a play under it because he's got 2-3 steps on that defender. Instead, we let that DB get back into the play because we throw it too far inside. One thing I will say that may have caused Avery to throw this ball further up the field is I'm not sure why we have Will Swanson running an inside fade from that tight end position to the boundary, because what that does is that almost prevents Avery from throwing that ball flat across the football field because there is help for that safety on the backside. So that guy could have peeled off and made a play on the football. So I don't know why we've got Will running an inside fade. I would much rather see him run an out route to the boundary and just peel that guy off the play completely, which gives Jace the entire field to work with. It gives Avery the entire field to work with. And so a little bit of maybe a design error or execution error to the backside here. But again, it's a great route. It's a great play call. We just got to throw that ball flatter across the field and give Jace a chance to run underneath of it. Now, I will say, despite all of that, at the end of the play, Jace still has an opportunity to make that catch. Safety undercuts the football and ball floats over him and it hits Jace in both of his hands. Sure, that would have been a super tough catch. But as a top flight receiver like Jace is, you still got to find a way to make that play, come down with it, help your QB out, score a touchdown early in that football game. And so it's a great play design, and not, poor execution probably prevented a touchdown in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand the Swanson route. It's not even playing to his strength, really, the receiver. And he is not really a vertical threat.
Yeah, if he's just if he's just trying to pull the defender away from Jace, who is the primary target, then let's run a 10-yard out route to the boundary and put that guy on the sideline.
Right. Yep. All right, let's go on to the fifth play here. Okay, let's let this run just for a minute and let us dissect this one, because I do think this is the fourth down play, I believe. Yeah, so this is 4th and 13 by Trey Spivey. He catches it. He makes a move. He fumbles the ball at the very end, but again, that's largely because he had to make such a great move to get to the first down. He got just a yard beyond the sticks. Again, they motion him just similar to what they did on that 3rd and 11. Clears out, and he is wide open. Now, he's still got to get upfield, and he's still got to shake that defender to get to the sticks and get to the first down, but he does so successfully, and once again converts in a big situation here as K-State gets the first down on 4th and 13. Curry, what do you make here, and how K-State kind of gets this play wide open?
Yeah, so really this is the exact same play design as we saw earlier where Trey Spivey trucked that defender on that 3rd and long on the first drive of the football game. So you motion Trey into a bunch trips to the field. You've got a single receiver to the boundary. And then you run sort of Trey's running a little bit of a spot concept. You've got a clear route by number 3, the tight end, and then you've got Jace Brown on the in route. So you've got a couple different options here. Jace Brown is open for a second there too, though there is help over the middle, and so makes the right read. But I think I said earlier that we don't use a lot of four wide looks. I don't think we've run a lot of trips bunch this year, but you see the confusion that it creates here. Motioning a guy like Trey into a trips bunch set with another dynamic receiver like Jace, it creates confusion for the defense. I mean, this appears to be some sort of. I mean, I think it's cover one. I think it's a straight cover one look. It could be a zone look just based on the way that the boundary or the field corner drops, but nonetheless, it creates a lot of confusion for that defense. And you see that really two guys, the outside corner and the slot corner, both run with Jace Brown, which leaves Trey completely unguarded. And so Avery does a good job of evading the pressure, gets out, makes the throw in the flat to a wide open Trey Spivey, and then Trey does a great job after the catch of finishing and getting the first down. He catches the ball. When he catches the ball, he's about 7-8 yards short of the sticks. He's got one guy to beat, does a great job making that guy miss, and then going and finishing and getting that first down. Obviously, you love to see him hang on to the football. We caught a lucky break here that this ball was fumbled out of bounds by the Cincinnati defenders. But it's a good play design. It's great execution again by Avery and Trey, and it's a great finish on the run by Trey. Just want to see him hold on to that football.
Yeah, and there we see Avery's talent as well, evading the pocket and getting away from pressure as they bring a blitz off the edge, 5-man pressure, eating out of the pocket, finds Trey, and makes the play, and Trey gets upfield quickly, makes a man miss. Good play all around to get that first down, and K-State, I believe, eventually got a touchdown on this drive. So, all right, let's roll to the next play. Now, this is on the heels of the Brendan Mott interception. Shout out to Brendan for getting that pick. Again, we see Avery Johnson use his skill set here to evade pressure, get out of the pocket. And, Curry, I think the thing I love most about this play is a redshirt freshman receiver in Trey Spivey recognizing his quarterback rolling out of the pocket, flipping around his hips and breaking away from the defender and going with his quarterback and getting wide open and making the touchdown catch while also staying in bounds. Doesn't put out of bounds before that to where it's an illegal touch. He has a lot of wherewithal here to stay in bounds, roll with this quarterback. I love what we see from Trey Spivey here in addition to Avery.
Yeah, I mean, I think and really, two guys again make this play, and it's Avery getting, fleeing the pocket and making a throw on the run, and it's Trey scrambling with his quarterback. And we've talked a lot the last few weeks about, a desire for Avery to leave the pocket and to extend plays, and that's exactly what he did here, and he did it on the prior play, and you see the pressure that it puts on a defense. because that secondary, they can't keep up with scrambling receivers. And while knowing that you've got a quarterback who's likely to take off and run at any point, or who could take off and run at any point. And so this is just excellent scramble work by Avery and by Trey. You've got, again, this is a goal to go situation. You've got really, I think Trey is the primary receiver here. He's running what we used to refer to as a wrap route, basically just a deep inside, deep sort of inside or in route or post route to the center of that goal post. Trying to create a little bit of a jump ball situation to the back middle of that end zone. He's getting held like crazy. I can't remember if a flag was thrown here, but if it wasn't, it definitely should have been. And you're right. This is an excellent job scrambling by Trey Spivey. I will say scramble drills are something that are often taught to Division I level receivers, but you would be surprised at how many receivers are not effective at scrambling with their quarterback. Some receivers just are lazy, or they aren't, there's no intuition there about, okay, I got to work to this level or this level when I'm scrambling with my QB. And so to see a young guy do that just shows what kind of heady player he is and the type of pedigree that he has. Because really, as a receiver, scramble drill is a great opportunity to make a play, because it really becomes one-on-one, and you have the advantage because you're working with your QB and working in different levels to try to evade those defenders. And so this is just an excellent job by Trey, saying that, hey, I'm getting held, but my QB's scrambling toward the field, and so I need to go work with him. He does a great job working with him, staying in bounds, getting loose from that defender who's all over him, and making a play and scoring his first touchdown. So just excellent job by Avery, excellent job by Trey.
Yeah, no flag was thrown on this play either, Curry.
Can't believe it.
He was held actually probably two different times. Held as he broke inside, which he would have been the only guy open because everybody else was covered. I think he would have been open, going across the middle there on his initial route tree, but he was held. And then he flips his hips and goes, rolls with Avery. And I think he got grabbed again as he did that. So big play by Trey. Shows the physicality there to just break through from the hole and get open and get the touchdown. All right, our last play here, Curry, might be the first trick play of the season in technicality. And the thing about K-State, Curry, with trick plays, and this goes back to maybe even your career, I just don't recall K-State running very many successful trick plays.
Yeah.
When we've tried to run them, the rare times we do, they often backfire, don't get much. I still remember the 2012 play against Miami, where Colin flipped it backward. You were on that team. I don't know what that was, but here you got K-State handoff to DJ Giddens. Jace comes around and then flips it back to Avery. And look, I thought this was going to get blown up. Initially, I was like, well, great, another trick play that's going to get blown up in the backfield, as since he almost gets there and almost could have had disaster. They hit DJ. I don't know if DJ is the initial, to me, he might be the safety read right here, the safety valve, because I think they're trying to hit the deep ball to the tight end. I think there's
you're trying to hit the wheel route to the tight end, or even the post route to the number one receiver of the field.
Yeah.
Either one of those. So yeah, this is just great creativity, and this is a play you see pretty commonly in both college and professional football. I think the San Francisco 49ers ran this same exact play yesterday against the Packers that ended in a similar completion to Deebo Samuel. And so it's a great play design, and it puts so much pressure on the defense because it's a reverse mixed with a flea flicker, which has the defense, as you can see here, really just scrambling, because at first they're thinking, run to DJ Giddens. We got to stop him. Oh shoot, their fastest receiver is coming on a reverse. We got to stop him. Oh wait, now it's a flea flicker, and now we got to run and find receivers. And so they really actually, Cincy really does a nice job on the two deep receivers. They do a nice job picking up the wheel route. They do a nice job running with the post. But this play creates so much pressure that, of course, they can't cover everything, and that leaves DJ Giddens wide open in the flat. And Avery does a really nice job with pressure in his face of realizing that, okay, neither one of the two primary reads are there, so I'm going to throw this ball down to my stud running back and let him go make a big play. So excellent play design, and in the face of a lot of pressure, this is excellent execution. So love to see this. Love to see this creativity. We talked last week about how we had lost some of the creativity in the sense that we were becoming pretty predictable and we were relying on a small subset of plays. I think we gained some of that creativity back this week where we mixed up the play calling and then even mixed in an actual trick play, which, like you said, we don't have a history of doing and doing well at K-State. I think naturally, since Snyder got to K-State, we've always been a fairly conservative offensive unit. We stick to what we do best, stick to the bread and butter, and don't get caught off in a lot of those trick plays. But you see here what type of pressure that puts on a defense and how it creates so many different possibilities for big plays. And sure, we didn't hit a home run here, but we did pick up a 20-yard first down. And so love the play call, love the execution. Great job by Avery in making the right decision, and great job by DJ finishing the play.
I was going to say, it's a really nice job by Avery when his, primary reads are taken away. And since he's got like 8 guys searching for the backfield because they bid on it, but their back end defenders did a really nice job covering up the primary reads, and DJ, for Avery to look down, find DJ in the midst of that chaos and convert it into a 20-plus yard gain, still worked out pretty effectively. Curry, as I think about like trick plays with K-State, and I don't even know if I would call this a trick play, but I had texted you on Saturday morning and DY and John about Ohio State. I was watching their game, and I talked about this on the post-game show. They rolled Will Howard out, and they threw it back to the running back across the field, and it was wide open. And if I think about like K-State running these QB sweeps, which I hate, by the way, I hate QB sweeps with no read or anything, no decoy, just straight QB sweeps. Can't stand it. The only thing I could think of that maybe they're setting up on film is, some sort of throwback screen. And I would like to see things like that. With Avery's legs, defenses are going to roll with Avery when it looks like he's going to run. You're going to be backside plays open like that. And I hope they do something like that against Iowa State. What do you
you don't have anything to lose at this point, which I think should help our guys play more free and easy. I think we saw it on Saturday. They played more free and easy, knowing that there wasn't really anything on the line other than a better bowl game, which we talked about last week. But I think you saw that against Arizona State. The double post concept that I alluded to earlier, where you had Jace on number 3 receiver streaking toward the boundary pylon, and then you had Trey Spivey wide open across the middle of the field against Arizona State. That play was set up based on the fact that we faked a little bit of a QB sweep. Avery tucked the ball and ran toward the edge before he then took his drop and threw to Jace, where you probably should have thrown the trade for an easy touchdown. But that's the type. You're right. I do think that there's something that they're probably working on developing off of that. I think, in fact, we saw it last week against Arizona State. And so I do think the QB sweep can help set some things up in the passing game. I think just, feigning Avery running the football can be a good asset for us. I think, the more we run the football, the more play action comes into play. I think there's a lot of things that again, we talk so much about the pressure that Avery Johnson running the football or feigning as though he's running the football, the pressures that puts on the defense. We've got to rely on that more because he is the ultimate ace in our back pocket.
Yeah, especially at the case they just ran him really effectively against Cincinnati. So that's going to be on the minds of the Iowa State defense. To wrap this up, Curry, what do you make of the matchup in Ames this weekend?
It's a big time matchup. I mean, it's not the matchup that I don't think anybody anticipated a month ago. I think a month ago there was some expectation that this would be 11-0 Iowa State versus 10-1 K-State, playing for playoff positioning, Big 12 championship positioning, everything. And obviously they've slipped up a couple times, as have we, which now leads to a different scenario. But it's still, nonetheless, it's a big time football game. It's 9-2 Iowa State. With a chance to secure their first ever 10-win season and their first trip to a Big 12 championship game, possible college football playoff berth. And it's 9-3. It's 8-3 K-State, who's trying to get to that 9th win, trying to maintain some level of hope for a Big 12 championship appearance. But if nothing else, to finish the regular season probably ranked in the top 25 and also securing a better bowl, securing better bowl positioning. So there's a lot on the line for both of these football teams, and it's going to be a crazy environment. I'm sure their fans are going to be packed in there. It's going to be freezing cold. So I think we have a lot less to lose than they do, which I think should be, should work to our benefit. It's kind of the inverse of what we saw last year when they came to Manhattan. They had a lot less to lose at that point than we did, and so I hope our guys come out and play free and easy. And I hope they're interested in playing spoiler alert for really the first time this year. This is the first time all year we've been an underdog, and in the early odds, and so hope our guys embrace that. Hope they embrace that underdog role. Hope they embrace the idea of going on the road and playing spoiler and spoiling Iowa State's opportunity to get to that 10th win and to get to a Big 12 championship game. So there's a lot on the line Friday or Saturday night, and I think our guys are going to come out and play well.
Well, I mean, yeah, you think about Iowa State coming into Manhattan last year and winning in the snow game and the celebration they had, and that had to weigh on the minds of what happened on senior day in Manhattan. And now you've got an opportunity, even if the Big 12 championship's off the table, which you'll know. I mean, it's a long shot anyways, but you'll know probably by the time K-State kicks off at Iowa State, you can still motivate yourself by ruining their season. And that's a fun opportunity, I have to think, as a player, to go into somebody else's house and wreck their season with the weight of the world on their shoulders, especially an Iowa State program that's never won 10 games and never won a Big 12 title.
Yeah, you get a chance to really upend things for them, and so I think and it's a good football team, well coached football team, but they've played a lot of close football games at home. I mean, they lost at home to Texas Tech. They should have lost at home they got away with one against UCF earlier in the year, a poor UCF football team. The same Cincinnati team that we just blitzed on Saturday night, they were, that was a one possession football game in the fourth quarter last week at Iowa State. I guess they went on the road and lost to KU, but they're, they've played a lot of close football games. I mean, they won late on Saturday against Utah, struggling Utah down to their third or fourth string quarterback. So this is a team that's playing in a lot of close football games. And so you can expect this one's going to be close on Saturday night. And I just hope our guys find the ways to make the big plays and the big moments to secure a victory on Saturday night. I think, we've talked about all the different, factors, with this game. But I think to me, the biggest one is, for us, K-State is just finishing the season on a high note. Obviously the month of November has not gone the way that we wanted it to, but there is still so much to play for beyond the obvious. And that is, the implications of the transfer portal and how finishing the season strong can, how it can play into that. If you finish the season with that 9th win, road victory over third ranked road victory, really, as it turns out, you're going to go into that portal season feeling a lot better about yourself. Not only having the guys on your team feeling good about coming back and playing another year at K-State, but also guys in the transfer portal and elsewhere looking at K-State is a great option to come and win a lot of football games. And so there's a lot of obvious things riding on this game for Saturday night, but then I think that the way that this rolls into the transfer portal is also going to be huge as well. So, really excited for this one. It's going to be a fun one, and hope the Cats come out on a good side.
Yeah, and you win, you finish high, you win your bowl game, you win 10 games. The Cats will win a lot potentially next year, and you probably start off higher in the preseason top 25, which we know how that factors in, it seems, into the playoff poll when you look at teams and, the higher ranked you are now. If you go win every game next year, it doesn't matter anyways. But, it'd be nice to start off next season with some hype and some energy as well, and be a more attractive spot for guys in the portal, but also winning at the end to help any, the culture and everything at Kansas State to win 10 games, 9 games back-to-back years, and then potentially 10th in the bowl would be pretty solid. All right. Well, that'll do it for this show. We'll be back next week to recap, hopefully, what is a win at Iowa State. K-State 2.5-point underdogs as we sit here on Monday recording this. Hopefully, Kansas State can pull it off, and maybe they can have some magic happen, and things will fall their way with the Big 12 championship picture. Unlikely, but we'll be at least watching to see what unfolds this weekend. All right, appreciate Curry, as always, for doing this with us. Appreciate Nick behind the scenes producing the show. As a reminder, go check out our supporters and sponsors. In Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon from Holiday Distillery. Go get stocked up. Home Field Apparel, enter the discount code to get 30% off before December 3rd or by December 3rd on the Black Friday sale. Again, that's BFCM24. As well as go on over to Wildcat NIL, catsnil.com, and get stocked up there, and Elenco for all your home improvement needs. For Curry Sexton and Nick Springer behind the scenes, signing off for another episode of 3 Mall.